Team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
If you're drunk,
Plastic.
intoxicated,
Rip. Plaster.
taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
And we're going to throw mind-numbing Monopoly numbers at you because it is NBA free agent season, and boy, is it open in earnest. Good morning, boys and girls. Merry Monday and Merry July. Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
How was the weekend? Long? Good, a nice long one?
Solid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good time?
Solid, fun weekend.
All right, then. You get a little soccer in?
A little bit.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Mexico United with a big 3-2 comeback victory on the road, down a man. United States, was that Friday that I watched them lose to Panama? When did I lose? Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, because we talked about it on Friday and you weren't here. Yeah, we get that. I was out at the ballpark when that gully washer came on Friday. I mean, on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, dude. Like, okay, we recovered. We had pretty good, we were dry, had a beer, and then it started raining, and then it was just dumped. My shoes are still wet because I park across the street from the ballpark over by my office. There was no way to cross that street without above ankle deep water. Like my shoes, I had them out in the sun all day. I was wearing my, those Adidas Superstars I like. Still soaked. My feet still feel wet. That was unbelievable. Where were you when the rain hit on Saturday?
We were at home.
Good move.
So we were lucky we were not out there. But, man, it was something else.
Yeah. Did you guys get, your street pretty good? Or
Yeah. It was, we had some people over, and they're like, yeah, we're probably not leaving for a while. Let's hang out a little bit longer.
Tell you what, man. And there were, got off the freeway, and it's like, oh, that's that rain that Joe Diaz says don't drive through. Right? I mean, at the bottom of the ramp, it's like, well, where are you going to go? And luckily, my vehicle's high enough, and I was able to get through it. It was gnarly out there. And the Topes lose the 2 of the doubleheader yesterday. We got a lot to do today, man, and it's going to be numbers that reminds us of what Bob Walpo tells us. Got thought about that we live on the same planet in a different world, but they're throwing NBA free agency numbers around, JJ, and we're not done with it. I think we're just at the start of it. If you're waking up and didn't hear some of the overnight stuff, Paul George is a 76er. 4 years, $212 million for him to join Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and leave the Clippers. Cade Cunningham. You're like, I kind of know Cade Cunningham. He was a first-round pick a couple years back. He languishes in Detroit. They have money there too, JJ. 5 years, $226 million for Cade Cunningham. James Harden, 2 years, $70 million. KCP leaves the Nuggets, and he'll go to Orlando, 3 for 66, and on and on and on. And just numb your mind and get used to it. But I think it's more, once you get past the numbers, it's, wow, okay, competitively, what does this do? And Philadelphia was saying, hey, Boston and the Knicks, we're here too.
Yeah, this is one that over the last few weeks, it was, all right, Paul George, he's going to Philadelphia. They created this space to go big game hunting. He's the best unrestricted free agent available at this moment in time. And I think he's the best fit for the 76ers of what they could have done with the big names this offseason. He's been in a role of being the other player the last few years on a roster with when he teamed up with Kawhi Leonard or playing with James Harden last season. He played really well last year. And yes, it's a big contract in year 3 and year 4, but Paul George is a dude you can trust. And right now, if you're Philadelphia, all right, you keep your fingers crossed that Joel Embiid is going to be on the floor, but worst case scenario, Joel Embiid gets hurt again, and you say, well, at least we can still be competitive if it's Tyrese Maxey and Paul George without Joel Embiid.
And if he's healthy, and it's a big if,
Yeah.
right?
I think that they are right there with the Knicks then.
Where are they with the Celtics? If Embiid's healthy, and I like we keep saying if Embiid's healthy, and it's, I hate saying that, but dude's not healthy all the time, and so
They're still, I think Boston is still the clear-cut best team in each conference.
okay, when they're healthy, with Porzingis included or without.
Yeah, I think by the time you get to the second half of the season, Porzingis will be in that rotation. But even without Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown.
They're the champs, man. I mean,
But this is how you push the Boston Celtics.
all right, so that's what's going on in the East. In the West, well, let me hit you in the East, because Orlando was sneaky good, and I don't know that people realize they were the 4th seed in the East last year. What is KCP going there? Does it mean anything? Does it mean more to the Nuggets, more to the Magic? What does it mean?
Well, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a 2-time NBA champion. He's someone that can still guard one of the opponent's top wing players. That was the Magic were someone we thought, oh, they're going to try to go after Paul George, go big game hunting. But if you're Paul George, you see that situation. Philadelphia is a better win now
No doubt.
mode. But KCP is the kind of player that you want to bring in for an Orlando Magic team that believes they have a franchise cornerstone, Paulo Banchero. You just mentioned what they were able to do last season, a very competitive first-round series against the Cavs when Donovan Mitchell was fully healthy that entire series. And he's someone that can immediately come in, be a, he's more of a 4th option offensively, but a number 1 option defensively. It's a good move for a team that just needed some veteran experience on it, and it hurts the Nuggets, but the Nuggets knew this was happening. When you have Jamal Murray, Cole Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. signed to big-time deals, your 5th starter is not going to be Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
All right, out west. So Paul George leaves the Clippers. They re-signed James Harden. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little surprised. 2 years, $35 million a year, $70 million. But they had the money to throw around. I guess they want to keep him, and they figure him and Kawhi, and then they're going to go out looking for some. They're trying to be in the Klay Thompson game, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Is that just they have money and they need to keep stars going into their new building?
No. If that was the case, I think they would have figured out what Paul George, James Harden, and Kawhi.
You think so?
Yeah.
So why Harden instead of George? Why was
It's cheaper. It is.
it's not better? You think it is?
I don't think it's better, but like James Harden wasn't bad by any stretch last year.
All right, I haven't seen this either. In addition to what the 76ers did to get Paul George, they just re-upped Tyrese Maxey, 5 years, $204 million. So they just gave out $416 million. It's just mind-boggling on 2 players, and neither one of them was Joel Embiid. All right, so then you get into LeBron. He opted out. There's no surprise that he was going to opt out. He's going to get a new deal, probably 3 years, and whatever, he'll max it, unless there are a few players, evidently, that he has let them know that he'll take a little bit of a discount. And one of them was Paul George. I guess he's gone. I don't guess he's gone. Evidently, Chris Paul might have been one of them. He signed with the San Antonio Spurs. Klay Thompson seems to be the one out there that he'll take a little bit less to help them sign and get under the cap and sign Klay Thompson. No surprise that LeBron opted out. I think it's 100%. I don't even think it's 99% that he's going to sign with the Lakers again. Klay Thompson, is that where Klay Thompson ends up?
Klay Thompson has become fascinating.
Right?
As quickly as things turned, how Golden State is moving on. And there are teams.
By the way, they're offering him more than he can get out on the open market. Like if it was just about money, Klay could get more money with Golden State, but I think this is one of those where, look, man, I'm next in line, but you're giving Draymond more and more years, and so bleep it, I'm going to go win a championship.
Have they offered him that deal?
That's the word I'm hearing in where I just saw the report last night, that there's a deal out there, but that he's going to go out and basically.
Well, the difference is that a deal to be the 6th man off the bench or be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Yeah. Yeah, and where does he got a better chance to win? Do you think he's got a better chance to win a championship with the Lakers or with the Warriors right now? With the where else would he go? I mean, with it,
It's pretty much L.A.
yeah,
Clippers, Lakers.
yeah.
The Mavericks are really
The Mavericks are really interesting. Where does he? All right, so you're him. What do you think? Where do I got a better chance with Luka and Kyrie, or with AD and LeBron?
Luka and Kyrie.
That's who was just in the finals, weren't they? It feels to me that way. Yeah, but he's fascinating, isn't he?
Yes, because it's one where I do think it's interesting. Is Golden State actually offering him that much money versus the way other teams feel about Klay Thompson right now? And there are other franchises that would be very excited to add him to the mix.
Well, I think most would, right? If you figure that he's going to become a little bit of what Klay Thompson was, I think most would. And by most reports, he's done. Adrian Wojnarowski saying his time with the Warriors is essentially over. The Sixers were in on it, and then they went and did the deal with Maxey and George. So I just don't know if they got any more money to spend on anybody. And they signed Kelly Oubre, by the way, 2 years, 16.3. They're just spending money right now, which is cool. Mavericks, Derrick Jones Jr. and the Clippers have agreed on 3-year deals. So Derrick Jones Jr. is going to the Clippers, 3 years, $30 million. Yeah, it's fascinating. There's a lot going on. I'm sure a lot will happen as we go through this. Here's your phone number to get in today. Area code 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the X, it's _ JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, it's the OD in the AM. And you can watch the show there. Adrian's producing. It's on Comcast Channel 26 and on our Facebook page and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. So go ahead and check us out there. All right. We got all kinds of stuff going on. The NFL, now that it's July, it's officially here we are next month. And I mean, camp's open and we're in it. So we'll get into the NFL. I want to tell you about the Albuquerque Convention Center and maybe stuff you don't know about them. Are you looking to host an event? And whether it's a big event, whether it's 2 to 20,000, think of the Albuquerque Convention Center. I know you think of different halls, whether it's a meeting, it could be a convention, it could be a wedding, it could be a celebration. They've got over 600,000 square footage. Flexible indoor and outdoor meeting space. They're right downtown. Local art throughout the building and a mosaic on the outside, which was handmade by the community. They've got the Kiva Auditorium, which is a hot spot for entertainment events. That's 2,300 seats in a theater with timeless red velvet chairs. Intimate setting, and there's not a bad seat in the house. They have great food and beverage options, and they'll meet all your catering needs. Look, I was just at an event there last Sunday. I emceed the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. They were able to handle 700 people. Everybody got fed. Boom. It was good. All kinds of whatever your menu options you want. They have it for you. Concessions and bars. Civic Plaza's right across the street. Downtown is it. The center includes an east and a west building. The Sky Bridge connects the two, going over 2nd Street. It's an exciting sight to see through the windows as you walk from one building to the other. Spaces include meeting rooms, ballrooms, exhibition halls, lobby and foyer space. It's walking distance from many downtown spots. And they have 2 large digital marquees on the outside of the building showcasing upcoming shows and maybe even your event. If you are looking to host whatever it is, you've got meetings, you've got people in from out of town, you've got a celebration, you've got an event, a wedding, think about the Albuquerque Convention Center. Check it out. It's at albuquerquecc.com. Everything is right there. albuquerquecc.com. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
It's kickoff time, and Believe podcasts are here to get you ready for the season.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road.
Oh, LOL. I don't know, man. There's no LOL on that. I mean, maybe now that it's afterwards. It was gnarly, man. The violence of that rain, too. If you were out in, and yeah, those of you who were at the ballpark, and it was Duke's retro night. JJ, Mike Scioscia went into the Albuquerque Baseball Hall of Fame. I thought Josh Sushan did a great job emceeing that, and some of Socha's highlights. You had some of his former teammates, Ron Renicky and Mickey Hatcher, and guys doing a video for him, talking about his days in Albuquerque. That's always my favorite night at the ballpark every year. I'm a sap for that kind of stuff. JJ, the yellow Dukes jerseys,
Good.
It's just so good. And maybe they wouldn't be. And I'm about the Isotopes, and I'm not that yelling, all right, you should change back. But if they did, I wouldn't be.
That's why it's such a special night.
It is. And maybe would you just get used to them and they wouldn't be as cool anymore? The red and yellow.
No, I think it's that color combination is always going to be special.
Yeah.
In New Mexico.
It's really good. I mean, did you ever go to Dukes games?
Yes, I did.
So there's something, right? Yeah, it was wow. But yeah, then the Raves came and it was like, all right, let's just go. We're wet, And I told Audra, I'll come pick you up. I'll go get the car. But yeah, I'm still like my shoes are still not dried out. All right, 505-246-0610. National Football League will soon take your consciousness. My guys, I'm on my group chat for one of my league drafts. Like, are all leagues the same? You bitch and moan about everything and go back and forth.
100%.
When's the draft going to be? Finally, we nailed the draft down. It was going to be the 18th, really because of me. Everybody wanted the 25th, but I thought I was taking my kid to college. But actually, I'm taking my kid to college that weekend, so we moved it to the 25th, and it was done, right? And then yesterday was like, all right, so the draft's the 18th, right? And it's like, no, we're crying out loud, it's the 25th, and now we're back and forth. 25th. We all try to get together. They're I don't know how I infringed on this. This was way back when I was at Channel 7. I've been that long. A group of dudes who've been friends since they were kids. It's a great league. But we're playing that. JJ's podcast. How often do you do it? Is it weekly?
It will start weekly the end of July.
All right, and it is called
Three Dudes Fantasy Football Show.
Yep.
YouTube. You can find us on Instagram at 3 Dudes Fantasy Football.
Who are the other two dudes?
My guys that I've known since I was in high school. Aaron Hernandez, Steve Masterson.
Do they know their stuff, or is it just 3 dudes talking fantasy?
It can be just that because that's 90% of sports talk radio.
100%.
What we do. But we're invested. And it's fun. And it's one of those things because it's the way we look at it. This isn't our full-time job, but we cite a lot of sources in the work that we do on the show, and it's kind of like that. It's like we all have our group chats, and then we just kind of take stuff, take questions we hear from our friends or debates like you're having, and we put it on the show. Like recording a new episode tonight about the must-have players. So first 3 rounds of the fantasy football draft. Like, who are 1 or 2 guys like you need on your roster? You have to watch the show to find out. So we'll break it down to, like, we'll look at if you're in the top 5 versus back into the draft, snake format. So, we look at a lot of
auctions.
We definitely do an auction episode.
Yeah, because dudes do auctions.
Yeah.
And how much percentage you am. Because I'm just telling you, in my league, every year, a running back or 2 go for over $95, $300 salary cap. And you got 18 dudes on a team. Yeah, it gets spendy. Christian McCaffrey was 110 last year or something. Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. I want to hit this because I just got this email from Dan. Did you watch the Rocket Mortgage at all? The golf tournament this week?
Saw the viral clip of where they were catching the dudes talking in the gallery.
I missed that. What is that?
And there's some guy. He's like, "Yeah, man, I started." He's talking about what he was drinking, and he's like, "Yeah." Then I went to the Southern Comfort, and woo, it was a long night. And then the commentary was like, "Well,
I missed that one."
Might have been the most entertaining part of the round.
All right. So the winner is Cam Davis. He won the Rocket Mortgage Open. It's the golf tournament, PGA tournament, this weekend in Detroit at the Detroit Country Club. But that wasn't the story, because Akshay Bhatia was winning the whole way. Akshay Bhatia was there last week, right on the heels of Scotty Scheffler and the whole thing. Akshay Bhatia hadn't three-putted all week, and he three-putted on 18 and didn't go to – he missed a putt. So I just got a text from Dan, and all it says is, Jeffrey and returning Juan Jose, it was an ugly rocket finish. Bhatia chokes. This was a major. He'd disappear for 4 weeks until the Open, like Rory did. You guys, we all think, oh, it's so easy, make a putt. Man, oh man. I mean, this was, Rory's taken it for missing those two short putts on 16 and 18 in the U.S. Open 2 weeks ago that cost him a major. And I'll tell you what, it was tough. Akshay Bhatia hadn't three-putted all week. He was playing so great. And the guy who wins, Davis, says, I wouldn't wish what happened to Akshay on anyone, but I've done a lot of grinding to get myself out of a hole, and just all of a sudden to do that, it's pretty good. Davis won because Bhatia three-putted from 32 feet on the final hole. Hadn't three-putted all week. It is so hard, and what you think is a gimme. I was just telling, I told you the story when I played in that one little tournament, and the guy gave me a 3-foot putt up the hill, and then he three-jacked, and I won the match. And he had the same putt I had for the last one. He looked at me, and I'm like, no, you got to make it. And he missed it too. And I felt really bad, but what do you do? Yeah, that's how Akshay Bhatia got beat. All right, I guess we know where Aaron Rodgers was. Is that the deal now? He was in Egypt?
So it sounds like.
So I guess it came out when his former teammate Marquez Valdez-Scantling was on FS1. He caught some passes from Rodgers. Rodgers was back in town. They were working out. And so evidently it was a trip to Egypt is what was really important to him. And that's why Aaron Rodgers missed the Jets' mandatory minicamp. He was in Vegas this weekend for the UFC event. He was with his former Packers teammate, Mercedes Lewis, for the fights. And does it matter? Was there going to be a right answer on this?
There wasn't going to be an answer that satisfied anyone that was on the side of.
Where the hell were you?
Yeah, you're the guy that was talking all off season long about eliminating the BS, all the distractions, only be about winning. And the one time it's mandatory for everyone to show up, you weren't there.
So what do you say? Like if you're him, what's his?
Hey, I was there the rest of the time.
Yeah, I was there, and I had some stuff, and it was a planned trip, and it was something that was really important to me, and I talked to Robert, and I talked to the club, and they knew I wasn't going to be there for those dates, and it was just one of those things where that's why I've been here for all the optional stuff, and I paid the fine, and we move on. There's nothing to talk about. Well, Aaron, but what about we move on and we get rid of all the BS, and he's just plays smartest guy in the room, right? He just goes Aaron Rodgers on this thing because how do you write this press conference? I mean, it's in Aaron's head. I know it is, and it's justified in his head. Yeah. So my cousin had a wedding, and I don't know. We go back. He's a terrific player. Get over it. What was it? What did Al Davis tell me? He was a great player? He's
both work.
Great player. Get over it. Evidently, he's not a great guy. Holy smoke. Former number 1 draft pick overall. Is he really just stealing money from a high school team now? Is he that desperate? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, these sports out.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
Jamarcus Russell is a great player. Get over it. Al Davis to Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin stood strong when he was the head coach of the Raiders. Hard to remember Lane Kiffin as the head coach of the Raiders, isn't it? How many jobs ago was that? Lane Kiffin stood strong. Al Davis, the late Al Davis, stood by his number 1 overall draft pick. Lane loses his job. Jamarcus Russell isn't that great of a player. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. As it turns out, Jamarcus Russell may not be that great of a person if these allegations are true. Jamarcus Russell, J.J., was a volunteer assistant coach at his alma mater. It's Williamson High School in Mobile, Alabama. That's really cool. He's volunteering his time. He was a great college quarterback. He's volunteering his time at his high school. You know what? That's really, really cool that he's doing that. I mean, you got these guys that are being coached by a former NFL quarterback. That's really, really cool. Until you hear that he is facing a lawsuit, and again, these are accusations. This has not been proven yet. But it's gotten to the point where it's out there. He is accused of taking a $74,000 check, which was meant to be a donation to the school. So, evidently, the way this goes is Jamarcus was out soliciting to get equipment, right? He went to a local business owner, a guy named Charles Knowles. And he said, hey, we need some money for the school to purchase weight room equipment. Can you help? How much you need? Pretty specific number, $74,000. So Knowles says, yeah, I'll help you all out. Which, by the way, is really cool. In Alabama, you just go down to a guy and say, can you help for a high school? And he gets $74,000. So he wrote a $74,000 check that the school allegedly never got because Jamarcus Russell reportedly deposited that check into a credit union and withdrew $55,000 of that cash for himself. Quote from the Mobile County public school official to WKRG Sports, Jamarcus Russell, I can't say his name without saying it that way. Jamarcus Russell was relieved of his volunteer coaching duties at Williamson High School during the fall of last year. So in addition to being fired as coach, Russell's also not allowed to be on the school's campus. He attended an event for the football team this week, but was told he's not welcome, please leave. I guess that's when the story came. Quote again from the school district. Earlier this week, it was reiterated to Mr. Russell that he's not permitted to be around the football program at the school. Dude, if this is the case, and this is a guy that earned over $36 million in salary and bonuses during his NFL career. Dude, if this is the case, how's he not been charged? Did they just say, you know what, we're not going to charge you, we're going to let this go? Now that it's out, I got to believe there's going to be some sort of investigation and charges, right?
No question.
This is horrendous. Point. If in fact, and again, I always want to be really cautious on this, but if these allegations are true, this is horrendous.
Yeah, that's getting pretty darn low. Stealing money from high school.
Look, I'm not going to tell you how to spend money. Patrick Ewing's the guy who once said, yeah, we make a lot of money, but because we spend a lot of money, right? And I'm sure there's a lifestyle, and if he's gone through his $36 million, I'm not going to judge. I mean, whatever, right? Not everybody's Glover Quinn and lives on 30% of their salary and puts 70% away and has themselves set up. And I'm sure when you get into it, especially as a number one overall pick, you think it's never going to end, right? You got to believe this is my first one. The next one's going to be even bigger. It's never going to end. But come on, man. You're stealing money from your high school team? I wonder what the Charles Knowles guy feels like. He probably wants to knock him out. Or Chris Knowles is the guy's name. Chris Knowles. He probably wants to knock him out. He gave you money. Go buy weight room equipment for your team. So that's Jamarcus Russell's story. I'm kind of getting over the Brandon Ayuk deal. Not gonna lie. Is he good enough that I got to talk about him all the time and that I care that where he wants to be and who he's?
You can talk about whatever you want right now.
Well, I guess that's right.
You make the decision.
Yeah, but my point is he good enough that every week, every day, nope, I'm staying, no, I'm going, no, I'll go to the Steelers or the Commanders. You're Brandon Ayuk, dude. You're pretty good. But and maybe it's the cycle, and maybe it's where it is, and he's still with the Niners, but he recently admitted he's thought about going to Washington, go play with Jaden Daniels. He listed the Steelers as another option. Quote, if it's not a Niners uniform, probably Washington uniform. He was on the Pivot podcast. Will they just sign him already and make this stop? Like, where do you have him on your fantasy podcast? Where is he in your receivers? The top 10?
Brandon Ayuk is a player that will go in the top 20 or third round.
Top 20 or third round?
So he's probably a top 30 player.
Okay.
Overall.
Yeah. In fantasy football.
Yeah. I think it's getting to a point where this is the off season. I guess, is it really a headache? Well, as long as he shows up and he plays, no. Like, if it's just dudes like us that are talking about it all the time and some questions that the 49ers will answer, but it feels like the plan is there. And I understand from a player's standpoint, Brandon Ayuk is a player that's signing a contract. Like, he's going to get a second deal, wherever it may be. You want that sooner rather than later. Because even if there's the handshake agreement, like, hey, let's get to the season because we need to sign Brock Purdy. We want to work on the Debo contract, and then we'll get you paid. You're never going to feel good because week 7, you could be doing great. All of a sudden, snap, boom.
Yep.
And it's like, well, No, you got the ACL injury, and we're going to give you that contract. But now let's talk about doing something else.
So there's other wide receivers who are looking to get paid right now. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. I would argue they're both better than him. Would you?
CeeDee Lamb, of course.
Yes.
I think Amari Cooper is interesting just based on where they're at in their careers. And I would feel better about giving Brandon Ayuk a 4-5-year contract than Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper wants well, I guess they all want as much as they can get, which I don't blame them. They're both pretty quiet with their holdouts or their demands, right? What's the right way to handle this? And I guess the right way is your way, whatever you got to do. But is it being out there every day and making comments and threatening, or is it the relatively quiet way that both CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are?
I don't think there's a right way because neither are speeding up the deals.
Obviously,
like the not talking and being quiet hasn't helped CeeDee Lamb or Amari Cooper to this point in time. The Brandon Ayuk seems much more frustrating for people that are discussing a story. With Brandon Ayuk, it feels like every other day now.
Yeah, it is every day, and it's a different story every day. No, I'm staying here. This is where I want to be. Nope, I want to go to Commanders. Oh, no, I'm here. I'm a Niner. This is where it's going to be. No, I'm thinking about the Steelers. It's just whatever. Amari Cooper's with the Browns, and their general manager is Andrew Berry. And him and Kevin Stefanski, their coach, said they value what Cooper provides, but so far it hasn't become a contract. He's in the final year this year of his deal. 30 years old, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with what's been, I mean, whoever's been the quarter, it's right, musical chair as a quarterback in Cleveland. I would argue that I think, well, Ayuk is really good. And he's been somewhat overshadowed by Debo. Was he 24, 25? And but 30 years old at a wide receiver isn't 30 years old as a running back.
No. I think Amari Cooper, I'd feel good at Cleveland if I can negotiate 2-year deal, make him happy, give him some money. Because one of the things they did, and you kind of just start looking overall about where they sit in their offensive building, they paid Jerry Jeudy a pretty good contract extension. And they're betting big on Jerry Jeudy.
Cleveland.
Yes. After that trade.
Kind of forgot that he was there, yeah.
And so that, I think that's what Amari's like, hold up. If this dude that you can say, all right, who was throwing him anything in Denver, but other than being a first-round pick, there's not a lot you look at in Jerry Jeudy and say, boom.
There's no one who's going to tell you Jerry Judy's better than Amari Cooper.
No, but that's what, if I'm sitting there going, you don't want to lock me up, get the last best years of my career out when he has produced and had fantastic back-to-back seasons. I think it's been one of the most under-the-radar receivers in the NFL in his entire career.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Because of where he's been when he went to Cleveland. Yeah, when he was with the Cowboys, nobody's under the radar. But then he went up there and he disappeared when he went. Yeah, it's fair. All right, 505-246-0610. And then there was the WNBA. And then there was the Fever and the Mercury and Caitlin Clark. Then Diana Taurasi. Got to get into that, don't we? Actual hoops in the WNBA? Stop it! Oh, there was other stuff, too. We'll hit that. I've been telling you about IPS for a long time. Because if you've been the victim of a home or business break-in, you know all too well that it usually takes hours, if not days, for police to respond. Simply, they just don't have enough officers to cover all the calls they get. When it's your home, when it's your business, it matters, and you need a much quicker response. How about 7 minutes or less? That's normally the response time for customers of International Protective Service. IPS has officers strategically placed around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. They react quickly. Many times they catch criminals in the act, and they can detain them, and they call police to come pick them up. IPS also provides standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They install alarms and camera systems. They have a state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7, and it raises the level of security around your home or your business. Look, I've trusted IPS for years. They come by on a daily basis. Officer Crespin's by every day. They're making sure my place is secure. And when I travel, they do extra patrols. They pick up newspapers and mails and packages that are dropped off. make sure that your place looks and feels the way it should when you get back. So who's watching your home when you're away on summer break? Don't let it be the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm or your standing guards at your business, it's what IPS does to let you sleep better at night. You can't prevent all the crime, but if you've got no protection, you're much more likely to be victimized. The number is 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Yeah, had a big game yesterday. The Fever and the Mercury. What do we got? Fever, Mercury, Sun, Scorch. Everything's about summer heat. Phoenix defense certainly keyed on Caitlin Clark. She delivered with a 15-point, 12 rebound, 9 assist game. And Indiana, her team, Caitlin Clark's team, beat the Mercury 88-82. It was cool to play against Diana Taurasi, she said. Obviously, great game. Crowd was incredible. Taurasi, the oldest active player in the WNBA, who's been certainly critical, JJ, of Caitlin Clark, gave Clark her flowers when it was done. Quote, "It's amazing what Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far. One thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put in the work. It's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her. She keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is bright. And being a veteran and being in this league for a long, long time, it is pretty cool to see that and go into the future." I appreciate that Diana Taurasi, I think most people do, gave her props after this. Taurasi's been very, very critical. What has she done? Why is she getting all this love? Why is it right? Why is everything coming to her? And I think she's come to realize, A, these aren't inflated, made-up numbers. Caitlin Clark is earning what she gets. She's earned her reputation. It's not just because she's some white girl from Iowa. She's pretty damn good. Her team's getting better. She's getting better. And I thought it was good to just actually talk about something in their league yesterday, JJ, and have this veteran who has been vocal against her give her love when it was all said and done.
That's what it's all about. It is, veterans kind of pushing the young players, but then those young players earning the respect of their peers on the court. And we see it in every single sport. And I do think that there have been some veterans like Diana Taurasi, who's evident, has been on camera, been quoted, going probably a little too far on Caitlin Clark, but when it's all said and done, this is what you want. You want Diana Taurasi out there on the floor, the leading scorer in WNBA history, going toe-to-toe with the young guard, saying, hey, all right, these players, they're doing what you want for this league, acknowledging it, still having the good back and forth, but the respect that we look for in sport from athletes.
I think the biggest number in this game wasn't necessarily Clark's 15 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, which, by the way, was really good. Damn near a triple-double. It not even, to me, was the final score, although that matters. It continues to be 17,071. You guys, WNBA games don't get this. They haven't gotten this, and they still don't without her. Angel Reese isn't getting that when she goes to play against Diana Taurasi. And it's nothing against Angel Reese. She's really, really good, and she's a double-double machine. Got another one yesterday. Just give this young lady her flowers. That's all. Give her props. And we're still talking about it as we roll into July, which I wasn't certain we would. Yeah, I was just at the point where I just thought the bickering and the pettiness was just going to turn, and maybe it has still turned a lot of these potential new fans off. I wonder when it's all said and done, how many new fans will come to the game, how much it will actually grow the WNBA's audience when it's all said and done. But I think, look, if Caitlin Clark came, you'd want to watch her, wouldn't you? I'd want to see her in person.
Absolutely.
I'd want to see what this phenomenon is all about. I see it on TV all the time. I would. I'm not a WNBA fan. I don't sit down and, oh, look, there's the Lynx and the Mercury, and I'm going to, I don't. If you do, that's cool. It's your thing. It's just not mine. But I wonder how many more people there are. But you get a day like yesterday, a woman in her 20th season, who's the league's all-time leading scorer, against a woman in her first season. And this wasn't a one-on-one. Look, man, those two teams, by the way, Clark only scored 15 of the 88 points. Her team's getting better. How about that? I mean, her team's actually getting better, right? Now, are they going to make the playoffs? I don't think they will. Although, JJ, right now, they are in the playoffs. Did you know that? The Indiana Fever have sneaked their way into the number 8 spot, which is 8 out of 12 make the playoffs in that league. It's like the USL. But did you, I mean, I didn't know they were in the playoffs. Did you? They're a half game better than the Chicago Sky.
And this is what you're looking for, is a little bit of sport with the back and forth.
With your noise.
Because the noise is what everyone will jump on.
Yeah.
Is what people will talk about. And I don't even know if a little bit of sport helps at some point. I think a lot of it is just easy summer headlines for people to scream about. But to your point of when Caitlin Clark goes to a city, people are responding.
I think that's right. All right. 505-246-0610. We got a ton going on in the NBA. I'll update you on that. JJ, when we get back, can you, I want you to put in, I want to get into United's week, because that was a big deal over the weekend. And a really big one on the road for them to go in there and play shorthanded and get that victory and come back. And USA Uruguay, not a kind of got to win game. It's a must-win game, is it not?
Yeah.
Unless Panama
don't want to be in a situation where you need help.
Unless Panama. 505-246-0610. Email us, Jeff at sportsout.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 630 Sports Out.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
July. What is up? Merry Monday, merry second half of the year. Holy smokes, the year's half gone. It was just New Year's. It was just bowl season. It will be again. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us. Man, you are active on the emailer today. That's Jeff at sportsanimalaBQ.com. JJ at sportsanimalaBQ.com. And text us at the Sports Animal text line. 505-246-0610. It's also the phone line, 505-246-0610. Garcia wants you to get to Vegas, JJ. So next week is Big 12 Mountain West Media Day in Vegas, and we'll be there for that. Garcia says getting JJ to Vegas. Jeff, is there no one in the massive OD universe who has a bus pass and a couple of buffet tickets so JJ can grub, so the pregame show host can get to media days? You coming with me?
No, I will not be in Las Vegas.
What if I put you on my companion? Then I'd have to move it.
Not in our budget.
Not in our budget? All right. Well, on that same vein, Dan wants to know, Jeffrey and Juan Jose. It's July, about the time we get the producer opening game scout, but the OD is currently producerless. While we were waiting, and then he sent us his Montana State scout. Bobcats are, this is from Dan. Bobcats are feeling good going into their 2024 season, coming off a 1-point loss in the first round of the state tournament. Coach Brent Vigen feels they'll be aided by a great recruiting class. The one wild card that will determine whether the guys from Bozeman can walk out of University Stadium with an upset is their O-line play. It's a unit that's completely rebuilt. 2023 O-line was decimated with injuries, graduations, and portal. There you got your scout. We could have Bobcat do it. Remember the year he did it?
He went all in, man. He did.
It was just a year outdated. All right, JJ, a big one. Is it USA Uruguay? So put Copa America into perspective for those who don't understand what this all means. You got the Euros going on, and all these international tournaments going on, and it's the CONCACAF and it's World Cup qualifiers, and what does it all mean? So last week, USA lost to Panama 2-1. They were shorthanded because of a early red card, and now that puts them in a position where if Panama, and Panama most likely will win, if Panama wins and the United States wins, it will go down to goal differential, which is not good. Go win and take care of business, right?
Yeah, the United States men's national team is the most hyped for 0 results. Like, it's getting tiresome watching the build up and having people talk about the talent, and for this team to come up short in the biggest stages. And you can look at, they won Gold Cup a couple years ago, yada, yada, yada. There always feels like on home soil with an opportunity and coming up short. Talking about a group stage, it gets Panama and Bolivia. And this was
and
your
now they're
going to
play the best team. Yeah, they're going to play
the
their
best team in the group tonight. And you're going in needing to win, and then you're in a position, well, if you draw and they draw, goal difference. Like, no, you should not be here. You should be playing to win the group tonight. Worst case scenario, you should have came out with a draw against Panama. Yeah, you went a man down, but you're up 1-0 in the match. Figure it out.
All right, but being a man down is real. Like, you blame Buckholzer, or you blame the player.
It starts with the player,
yeah,
but then you adjust, and they did. To give up 2 goals. Not park the bus, defend your backside off, salvage a must point. It's not a must win at the point, but salvage a point out of a game where you're up 1-0. Yeah, you go man down like 20 minutes into the match. Salvage a point out of that game.
People are pissed. Soccer people
it's all this build up and buy and believe in the talent. You have Christian Pulisic, yada yada yada, and you could be out on home soil in the group stage of Copa America.
Put that in perspective, because the way I look at it, and I don't know it like you do, and I'm like, okay, Panama and Bolivia, but maybe they're really. I mean, Panama, whatever. On a home soil, Copa America.
It's just, and it'd be a huge dud when you're trying to build up hosting the World Cup.
All right, and somebody asked the other day, is this a World Cup qualifier?
No.
They're in the World Cup because Canada, Mexico, and the United States will host the World Cup, and so the host teams get teams in. It's an expanded field, right? It went to 42 or 48, whatever it is. And so they're in. They don't even have to qualify because they're a host country. They're in, right?
That is correct.
It's a crummy way to get in, though. It wouldn't be nice to qualify.
Well, they were qualified anyway.
They're already qualified? They're already in.
I would assume there was the mess we had last time, but
qualified.
Yes, and anyway, back to the Copa. This is so that there's the Euros going on, and Copa America, and it's just the best teams of the region, your national teams, every couple of years, because you know the World Cup, it's 4-year cycles. So you get together, so you play meaningful tournaments. So you can play big time. It's not just friendly. It's like, all right, you're playing knockout stage games, playing for a trophy. Something's on the line.
It means something.
Yes.
Mexico's out, too.
Knocked out.
I'm going to play the network card. Well, the networks are really excited about Uruguay and Panama again.
Oh, it's still got Argentina.
All right.
Still got Brazil.
Big win for United over the week. They went down a man, and they found a way to win.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
They scored to win the game, a man down.
Late. Yeah.
But 3 goals on the board.
They're in first place. They win in San Antonio. They'll be home on Wednesday for a 3rd of July match out at the ball pitch. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Thanks for holding. Good day, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. You know, as we embark on the 4th of July week as U.S. Americans, I have as much confidence in the U.S. men's national team. They're as reliable as a flat tire or a dead car battery. Quite honestly, I have zero confidence in them. But, you know, maybe they can turn it around and build some momentum. By no means am I a content expert. Briefly, I was driving to the village of Pecos because I went to a wedding up in northern New Mexico, and I felt this cosmic energy as I drove through there in the evening trying to look for a gas station. And it turns out that it was Grady's birthday. So I want to wish him a happy belated birthday. He's a dual threat Hall of Famer, you know, so both email and calls. So happy birthday, my friend. The WNBA, you know, in sports, you either humble yourself or you get humbled, right? One way or the other. Eventually all roads lead to being humbled. And I'm a big fan of Diana Taurasi, a.k.a. the Karate Kid. I've been a fan of her since she played at UConn. And I'll openly admit, I don't think I've watched one singular WNBA game in my lifetime, a full game, tip off to the end of the buzzer, right? But I watched last night, yesterday, and I actually watched ESPN. I told my son, hey, let me check this out and get the highlights. Taurasi made bold statements before the season started about Caitlin Clark. And as hubris has it, she came back and humbled herself and said, wow, this is pretty special, right? And I give her credit for it because Caitlin Clark, I think I sent you some data. When she travels, when her team travels, ticket sales go up fourfold and selling out. And I know it's one individual, right? It's not the whole league, but she's a catalyst, and catalysts only come around every quarter century in sports. And it's fascinating to see. And, I've been kind of critical of Reese. Reese is having a great start of her career as well. Having all those consecutive double-doubles. So, like I say, I'm not a huge fan of the WNBA. I respect talent. I respect their skill set. And it has me watching, and I was glad to see it. So kudos to the Karate Kid, a.k.a. Diana Taurasi, for her to be humble herself and say, yeah, this thing's pretty interesting to watch. And it was a good post-game wrap for her. So thank you for letting me share my thoughts, and you guys have a nice beginning of the week.
See you. I agree with him on Diana Taurasi. I was like, wow. I mean, I thought she was overly critical. I just did. And that was the typical old, bitter, I've been here. I never got all this. And now that she saw it, now that she played against her, she gave her props. You're right. You never did, man. And for whatever reason, JJ, the reason, you know what? The biggest reason, and people want to rip on ESPN, and full disclosure, I work for ESPN. Okay. ESPN has a contract with the WNBA and covers the hell out of the WNBA and promotes it. ESPN has shown a lot of women's college basketball, right? And covered it and promoted it. And look, Caitlin Clark coming up and becoming the all-time leading scorer in the history of college basketball at the same time where that has been going, there's been a focus on tournaments, on coverage, on televising. But those universes converged at the right time for this explosion of the popularity of women's sports and women's basketball in particular. Right? The networks covered it more. They just do now. They didn't when Diana tried 15, 20 years. Most people don't even know that league's been around 20 years, right? It just wasn't as accessible. Yeah, for you, it's a bummer you're not going to be able to capitalize on it. But the league is going to be able to capitalize it if they do it right. You think I'm wrong on this?
No, because it's playing out based on ratings and attendance for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark was right time, right place for the expanded coverage of women's athletics on the national stage. And there was something to back it up when you had a player chasing the all-time scoring record.
And there's just, the television contracts, and it's not just ESPN, although it's been led by ESPN. But, the other networks are doing it too. And you're seeing 17,000 people go out for the WNBA game. All right, 505-246-0610. What's going on this morning in the NBA free agency? Get you the latest, who's going where, and boy, oh boy, it's a lot of money that's being tossed around. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 294-7684 or visit HansWillerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Players, big names. Paul George leaving the Clippers. Going to Philadelphia 4 years, $212 million. Sixers also signed Tyrese Maxey. He's going to stay there. 5 years, $204 million. So that's $416 million to those two guys. Just those two guys, which is somewhat bonkers. Chris Paul signs with San Antonio. Chris Paul is going to be with Wemby, and that'll be good for Victor Wembanyama, right? And then by like about February, they try to trade him. I think he's got a 1 year, expiring contract. He goes try to chase a ring somewhere.
I could see that playing out.
right? He's got an expiring contract. They trade him for something, and I don't know. Pick your team that thinks they can win a ring. Could be the Lakers, for that matter.
It could be. I do like San Antonio, even with Greg Popovich. They are trying to get some veterans in the room with Wemby.
I agree with you, because he's an unbelievable talent, and I agree with that. Cade Cunningham was the first-round pick of the Pistons a few years ago. First overall pick. He went to the Pistons. And then he's just mired in Detroit. Well, he will continue to mire in Detroit, who, by the way, signed J.B. Bickerstaff yesterday as their head coach, which I think is a great move. I don't know what it's going to mean for them. I don't know if they're going to be any good because it's really tough. But 5 years, $226 million for Cade Cunningham. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope signs with Orlando, 3 years, $66 million. James Harden staying with the Clippers, 2 years and $70 million. All right. 505-246-0610 is where we are. Get you some emails. You get really been active this morning on the email machine, haven't you? Give me the Patia chokes. What a disappointing split, Gus says. Jeff, when you're 2-0 and 3 outs from a massive lead going 3-0, you got to feel 3-3 is a lost opportunity. Isotopes 3-3 over the weekend against the Salt Lake Bees. They're 3-3 as the second half of the season is underway now, and they'll go down to El Paso. Jeff, the OD has talked for years about their struggles at 7 furlongs. I don't know if there are any records, Frank. They can't be very good. What are we talking about? This team just cannot sprint. I honestly don't even know who you're asking. We had John Traub on the other day, and one of you thought it was, where is it? I should have asked him about Coco Montes. Oh, congrats on the Pussyfoot interview of the year, Jeff. When you talked to that Honcho Friday, I kept wanting you to ask about Coco Montes. When the Rockies call you and tell you they're cutting your All-America candidate, that's when you tell the folks in Denver they need to find another AAA affiliate. JJ, you just shake your head. I know.
I don't even know if it's real at this point in time with some of these people, so that's why I just stopped responding.
I know. No, I know. James is in on Air Force's women's basketball team equals the Tucson Toros. The OD has talked for years how Air Force or Lady Lobos, Lady Lobos dominate Air Force. When you're 2-11 and both those DC Gladiator wins are against the same club, it might not be to that level yet, but things can be pretty tough on the Tucson opening drive this morning. Yep. Gladiators beat Tucson. All right. Too many bowls equals the NFL schedule. Jefferson, for years I've said there are too many bowls. Are we bordering on the point of having too much NFL? $5 billion doesn't grow on trees. How quickly does the NFL go to 18 games to try to generate a few more Ben Franklins to pay the Sunday ticket sale? I think they were going that way anyway. How quickly are they going to 18 games? When's the next CBA? Like within 3 years, they're going 18 games. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think 18 is inevitable at this moment in time, and it could get done whenever they want.
Yeah, well, can it get done whenever they want?
Yeah, they could agree to tear it up and start a new one.
That's when, I mean, again, contracts are going to get bigger. You're going to say quarterbacks are making $60 million now. When you throw another game, a year ago, 2 years ago, now it's 2 more games. And you're saying, well, they're making so much money. Yeah. But you're throwing them out there, and it's a dangerous damn game, dude. Play more, make more, make more. I mean, that's just how this has to go, doesn't it? It has to go there. Play more, make more. A little NFL stuff for you. CeeDee Lamb is expected to skip training camp. We're just talking about how he's been quiet about this. Cowboys receiver. Camp starts in 24 days. 3.5 weeks. Eligible for a long-term deal CeeDee Lamb is expected to miss camp without a new deal, according to the Dallas Morning. Evidently, he's been engaged with the team this offseason, talking. He's been talking to Coach Mike McCarthy. But he skipped all the mandatory mini camps, so he absorbed $100,000 in fines. He didn't go to voluntary spring workouts. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He wants a pay raise after everybody else got it. And what's he making this year? Well, he's making $18 million. $18 million is good gelt, but it's not the $30 million that other receivers of his ilk are getting. He's under the 5th-year option on his rookie deal, scheduled to hit free agency next season. So he can conceivably ask for and get at least $30 million a year on his new deal. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown are all above that mark. What's his number, dude? Is it $30 million?
It'll be above $30 million. And this is one where, in the fantasy football world we live in, we like wide receivers, points per reception. But in the world of football, I look at the top teams in the AFC last year. Baltimore, they don't got a dude at wide receiver.
They don't.
Bills,
they
had Stephon Diggs, but even the last 6 weeks of the season, he wasn't much there in their competitive football team. We know Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes races everything. With Travis Kelce in the playoffs. And then you look at, the NFC, the 49ers. Do you feel they have just an awesome collection of talent? Or
Ayuk and Debo are pretty damn
Ayuk
good.
and Debo are good. But are they, 30,
Ayuk
35
thinks
million?
he is.
Thinks he is. It's not where I'm going with this. Cowboys would had CeeDee Lamb, but then they flamed out in the playoffs. Detroit Lions paid Amon-Ra St. Brown. But there's really a theme where wide receivers are getting paid in the NFL, but is that equaling production on the field, the way that the top teams in each conference are constructed? Answer to that question is no.
So what's the answer to the strategy then? Let him go? Don't pay him and go find another one? Because you can be like Green Bay and find 3 guys who are on rookie deals that aren't making very much, and get a young quarterback and you just hit on him. You get a Romeo Dobbs.
I don't think that's the answer. I think it's one, and then it all starts with the quarterback. Like with Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, Purdy, what Goff did for the Lions, regular season Dak Prescott. But the Cowboys have backed themselves into this position where they're negotiating against the highest contracts, and they're going to pay. He's worth a top 3 contract,
and it's just market value.
But what they've done is waited so long that it's just even gotten bigger.
All right, we're going to take this break. I want to continue the conversation on wide receiver, because what do you do then? Because JJ's point is interesting, right? The teams that are, there's exceptions, but the Kansas Cities, the Buffaloes, do they have great receivers? The Chargers just walked away from their great receivers. Which way do you go? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
Hey, it's Raquel with JPR.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered,
Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
All right, I got NBA free agency going on, and we're talking about receivers in the NFL. Brandon Ayuk's all over the place. I think he wants to stay with the Niners. And then there's CeeDee Lamb, who said, he didn't even really say it. The Dallas Morning News did. He's not going to minicamp until he gets his contract. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. The number to get in is 505-246-0610. Laker James, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, James?
Oh, man, bro, everybody's pissed, man. All the Laker fans are upset, man.
Why?
Because Bronny James, man, we want 18 championship. We don't want 17, we want 18. We want to match those guys, in Boston. We don't want Bronny James, man. We don't want LeBron. They could trade him. We want an 18 championship, bro.
You said we don't want. You said we don't want LeBron either.
Nope, we don't want LeBron either. You get rid of him. He's old. We want somebody else. We want to get. Everybody's talking about it, bro. Everybody.
Well, yeah,
everybody's
of course
pissed because they picked Bronny James.
So the deal in LA is people are pissed. They don't like. They're over LeBron running their franchise.
Right, exactly. We're over LeBron. He's not even a Laker. I mean, he's not a true Laker.
I know.
You know what a Laker is.
No, dude, I get it.
I mean, he's not even a Laker. He's not even a true Laker.
Here's the deal. He is going to be for 3 more years, too, because he opted out. Now they're going to sign him for 3 more and max him out at 3 more years and try to find a Klay Thompson to fit in or something to make another run with this group. This is what you got, man. And it's his franchise. It's his coach. You get it. You're living it. I was wondering what the reaction on LA talk shows was.
Oh, bro, everybody's upset.
So
man. They're talking about now we cancel their tickets and their season tickets and stuff. So hey, you gotta have a good. I'll talk to you later.
Wait. How's my guy John Ireland handling it over on ESPN LA? He's the voice of the Lakers. Him and Mason host that talk show in the afternoon. How's he handling it all? All right,
I gotta go.
You know what? It might be. We haven't reached out to John in a couple of years. Huh? It might be time, don't you think? I wonder how he's handling it because he's got to play the company line certainly as the voice of the league, and he gets to watch LeBron every day as the calling games, and yet. Did you find that interesting that in LA they're pissed?
I knew people have been out on LeBron since day one. There's been a split with that fan base. I don't know if we know why. He is the most polarizing player of this era.
No doubt.
He bounces around.
Yep.
And we know people don't like the way he acts, don't like the way he handles himself. We get that. And so there's that split. And so for a faction of fans, he's never been a true Laker. He'll never be a true Laker. He's not
Kobe, he's not
because
Magic.
It's LeBron James.
Yeah.
But then I think that's more of it's LeBron James versus anyone else. Because if you sign a big-time free agent, that's what you're going to say that every time you sign a free agent? He's not a true Laker?
Is Anthony Davis? No, that's fair. Laker fan, I know you're out there. You haven't been really vocal on this. So it went down on Thursday where the Lakers drafted Bronny. I don't know what you were going to get at 55 in the second round that makes you feel like it was going to make you some sort of a huge difference. I don't know what sort of detriment you think this is, other than it just shows who's running your club. Right? It just shows who but you already knew that. You already knew it. He might not be a true Laker, but it's his damn team. Lenny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Lenny.
Yeah, it's his team, but how is he serving a purpose for the betterment of the team?
I'm not arguing with you.
And they just blew $24 million signing Max Christie to a $24 million 3-year deal?
That was an interesting one, too.
Can you name a highlight that he's done in the past 3 years?
No.
Besides probably getting wood chips in his butt?
Well, they're nice cushion seats, so there's no more wood. He got.
But I mean, some of these contracts that are going out the past few days, you're just shaking your head.
It's market, right? I mean,
And to me, every contract's an overpay. Even the Hartenstein contract that just happened this morning with Oklahoma.
Harden with Oklahoma?
Yeah, Hartenstein the Knicks could only offer him $17 million a year. Hartenstein just signed a 3-year,
Hartenstein.
$87 million contract with Oklahoma.
Hartenstein. Yeah, I think so. 3 years, $87 million. Yeah, it's almost 30 a year.
And and he was extremely good for the Knicks. But what Philadelphia did yesterday was a double whammy on him because the Knicks were trying to get Andre Drummond as a backup, and Philly signed him first before they went after Paul George.
And then Paul George got 4 for $212 million, and then Maxey 5 years, $216 million.
And the thing I don't understand with that is Steve Ballmer is worth more money alone than probably the next 10 owners.
Okay.
You're moving into one of the most high-tech arenas that's opening up this coming season, and then you played around with your second-best player.
Yeah, where are they going now? They've got Kawhi and they've got Harden, and then what are they doing?
They signed Harden for $235 for 2 years, $35 million a year. Who are they going to replace? They're going to do it by committee.
Well,
the committee doesn't work in replacing Paul George's defense.
They'd like to get Klay Thompson, but I don't think they're going to. I mean, it sure feels
Klay
like
Thompson. Klay Thompson is not going to go there.
No, I agree with you.
I could see Klay Thompson. If he goes in there, and maybe Denver makes a play at him since they lost Kentavious Caldwell-Pope
or Dallas.
But some of the numbers so far are a little bit head scratching.
But we do this every July 1st, right? Every year they start throwing money around like this. Where I just go, holy smokes! Can you believe it? It's just it's same planet, different world, right?
And then you look at Philadelphia and you go, okay, now they got Maxey, who they're now giving an extension for $207 million. Embiid and Paul George. This is basically a 1-year all-in option. If it doesn't work, they're going to have to blow it up.
Well,
because then they're going to say, with Embiid, okay, you had Harden and Simmons, didn't work. Now we're giving you Paul George and Maxey, and you're still not getting over them. Because can they beat Milwaukee?
That's a really good point.
Even with the Knicks losing Hartenstein, they get a backup center if Robinson's healthy. Do they have the offense to overcome the Knicks defense? And then you still got Boston.
JJ, his point on Philly's really good. It's like almost now, right? Embiid's had so many different weapons. And he's not wrong. We had Harden and Simmons. Okay, you couldn't make that work. All right, now we're giving you Paul George and Maxey. It's time.
And then you look at Oklahoma, and they have Chet Holmgren. I like Holmgren, but he might actually work out better as a 4, put Hartenstein in as a 5 and go big.
That's right.
With Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yep, I think that's right. And how do you guard him on the way? Yep.
You can, and Hartenstein can still shoot the 3 and pull you out. So they can go 5 out and then hit you all over the place. And didn't they pick up Caruso?
They did. Yes, last week they got him in a trade.
Okay, and then I'll give congratulations to Tobias Harris. Why would you want to sign a 2-year deal to go to Detroit?
Because they're paying you, man.
They're paying him, but where's the team going?
Yeah, but they're paying you. They just gave Cade Cunningham $200 whatever.
Right. The only one I'll give credit to is Chris Paul going to San Antonio to teach their backcourt and Wembanyama how to play basketball.
And then he'll get traded. Yeah, and then they'll move his expiring contract and he'll get traded.
Yeah, they'll move him in February. Popovich will take care of him. Yeah, but it's a good learning tool with the point guard that they drafted.
Yeah, I think it's a great move. All right, man. No, it's good stuff.
All right, you guys have a good weekend. Stay out of the rain.
See you. He brings up a great point on him. I mean, it's kind of now or never for him, isn't it?
It absolutely is. But Joel Embiid, he's had the opportunity, he hasn't been available, whether it's his body letting him down or the missed chances with Kawhi Leonard's shot bouncing off the rim and falling in, Toronto getting them. He has had everything star players look for. And that franchise has given him opportunities, different looks, different styles, different stars to play with. And it all comes back to Joel Embiid. Yeah. That's why we say if.
And he's getting more. Lobo Hobo said, end of Showtime, Jeff, for all those old school Magic Kareem, Jerry West, Jamal Wilkes fans. Are they done with the current circuits? I don't know if they all are. I think there's some who, first of all, those who don't remember that, those who were not of the generation to remember those Lakers. And I think there's even a fair number of fans now who are Laker fans that don't remember Kobe that well, right? But certainly the Showtime Lakers, this is the Lakers, if you're a Laker fan, you're a Laker fan. And you love you some LeBron or you don't. I'd love to hear Laker fan. And I know there's a ton of you around here. How are you feeling about the way they handled this and the Bronny situation now? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by FEMA. If you were...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Active morning in the NBA. Really active for Oklahoma City. Thunder just made another big addition. They signed center Isaiah Hartenstein, 3 years, $87 million. He was the guy that was with the Knicks. He's 2 years, really good. So the Knicks lose a little depth up front. Thunder also today, JJ, remember this was the team that was number 1 seed. They're shoring up the rest of their roster. So Aaron Wiggins, one of their guards, 5 years, $47 million. And Isaiah Joe will get a new 4-year deal worth $48 million. Wiggins, 6.9 points a game last season. Joe, 8.2. So 6.9 points per game, hitting almost 50% of your three-pointers. That will go out and get you a $47 million deal. And scoring 8.2 points per game and hitting 41% of your three-pointers will get you $48 million. So Oklahoma City throwing some money around. They're secure in the back end of the roster. They've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren locked up. They had Hartenstein. They're not going away.
And they have movable assets before they will need to or decide to give Chet Holmgren a max deal. He's on his rookie contract, as is Jalen Williams. So you have Lu Dort, Alex Caruso, really good on the wing. This has been a fantastic offseason so far for the Thunder.
And they were your number 1 seed in the West last year. All right, top of the hour. We'll reset for you when we come back. Everything that's going on in NBA free agency. Get into this receiver thing. The latest on the Cowboys situation with CD Lamb. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, glad you're with us on 1st of July. On 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Proud of us.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
July 1st, a lot of new things going on. New calendar for NBA free agency. There's a new team in Conference USA today, JJ. You can't. We give you the NBA stuff first. Paul George leaving the Clippers, going to the Philadelphia 76ers. He joins Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. 4 years, $212 million. Maxey, meanwhile, gets 2 years and 5 years, 216. And I'm just throwing crazy numbers. James Harden resigns with the Clippers, 2 years, $70 million. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Orlando, 3 years, $66 million. Cade Cunningham re-ups with Detroit, 5 years, $226 million. And Knicks center Isaiah Hartenstein is now a Thunder center. Thunder, if you're a part of the Magic, you're a magician. If you're a part of the Thunder, you're a what? Thunder, you're just a Thunder. 3 years, $87 million. Chris Paul's going to San Antonio to work with Victor Wembanyama. How many years does Chris Paul have? 2-ish. All right. Him and LeBron go out at the same time, or LeBron outlasts him?
Well, I think LeBron outlasts Chris Paul.
Oh, that's probably right. LeBron's going to sign a new 3-year max deal with the Lakers, most likely. Although that's not official. All right. 505-246-0610. JJ, today, being July 1st, the Aggies have a new member in their league. New Mexico State, of course, part of Conference USA. As of today, Conference USA welcomes Kennesaw State as the 10th member of the conference. Kennesaw State is in Marietta, Georgia. You're like, okay, another little school. You have any idea how big Kennesaw State is? If I asked you, now you're going to know it's a decent number. How many undergraduates you think are at Kennesaw State? So I'd have told you, I don't know, 12,000, 15,000, 48,000 undergrads. It's a gigantic number. Undergrads and graduate students. I'm sorry, that's both undergrads and graduates. Top tier research institution, and so they are the Owls. By the way. Did you know that? They have 18 sports, 17 will compete in Conference USA. So get used to it. That's now Aggies. That's on your basketball schedule. Kennesaw State. Next up will be Delaware, I believe. right? And Missouri State. Yes, Delaware and Missouri State.
2 Conference USA?
They're already announced.
Delaware
and Conference USA. Delaware and Missouri State are next up. I think a year away into Conference USA. You're shaking your head off.
Dude, these travel schedules are going to suck for everybody.
I mean, Delaware's going to Liberty, isn't it? I mean, what's the difference between Delaware and Virginia? Yeah. Yeah. No, Conference USA now is FIU, so that's Florida International, Jacksonville State, which is in Alabama, Kennesaw State, which is in Georgia, Liberty's in Virginia, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, Sam Houston State, UTEP, Western Kentucky, Delaware, and Missouri State. I mean, you are from Las Cruces to Lynchburg to Florida. Yeah. Hence Conference USA, baby. But I'll give Judy a lot of credit. Judy McLeod, their commissioner who's been on our show. JJ, for keeping that thing together, because that league was teetering. And you may tell me they are still teetering, and they're whatever. But their membership is who they are, right? They know what they are and what they're not. And I think she's done a hell of a job keeping that league together and growing it. Because that league could have fallen off the map like I think the WAC is going.
Yeah, you'll definitely probably do the back-to-back when you go play Liberty. Just hit Delaware and then come on back.
Well, yeah, look, there's back-to-backs in FIU and Jacksonville State, right? You go to Florida and then you go to Alabama. You come out here and you go, Las Cruces and UTEP. You go to Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. Sam Houston somehow, probably with Louisiana Tech, right? I mean, you got your relatively clear travel partners. Look, it is what it is, but I'm glad for New Mexico State they found a home because they were floating, dude, and that WAC blew up. It's a good thing they got the hell out of that. Remember, we're having this conversation. It was a real conversation 2 years ago. Would the WAC be better for basketball? The answer is no. Grand Canyon's left for the West Coast Conference. I mean, the answer is obviously Seattle left for the West Coast Conference too. So that all happens today on July. All right. We got some NFL news for you this morning. The Dallas Morning News has reported that C.D. Lamb, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, is not going to camp. Camp is on the 24th. Today is the 1st. So 23 days away. I believe 24th or 25th. Until he gets his new deal. And it's going to be in the area of $30 million a year, man. It is what it is. It's market value, and that is what it is. And as much as you say those numbers are crazy, and you might be right, that's what market value is. So, does UNM football start their summer camp today? Says the text line. I don't know that to be true. I think they start. They're in workouts, JJ, but they don't start camp. Like no. In fact, no. Media days are next week, and then I think 2 weeks after that is when camp. But yeah, now you got football next month. Who's your Puka Nacua this year in fantasy?
Goodness.
Who's your 5th round pick that comes out of nowhere that's going to lead their team in reception?
No one.
Because it doesn't happen.
That was a one-off.
Who called that one? Give me a little credit.
Whitworth?
He did. He absolutely did.
Right?
He did. Jason Whitworth.
Or Andrew Whitworth?
Okay, yeah, the former, and then I bought into it and I picked it. But yes, he did. That's where I got it from, 100%. You're right, I shouldn't take credit for that. It's totally true. You can get in today, and I think I just gave you the numbers. I'll give them again. 505-246-0610. You got the Missouri governor now involved in trying to get funds for the stadium to keep the Chiefs in Missouri. You got Kansas trying to get their team, get them to go to that side of the state line. And watch that if you're into money and that sort of stuff. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Howie.
Good morning, guys. A couple things. Sitting here watching my Cowboys implode. I mean, these skilled position players, Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, C.D. Lamb, they've been sitting on their hands and not, re-signing them. And all that's happening is the market's going up and up and up. I mean, how many people have been signed at wide receiver or quarterback or even a defensive player, while the Cowboys have been sitting on their hands? All they're doing is shooting themselves in the foot. So, Jerry Jones is supposed to be this financial genius, but right now it doesn't seem like good genius moves to me. I mean, am I off base on
Nope,
that?
you're 100% right. You're 100% right. The longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. No, you're absolutely right. And there's going to be less cap room to sign all of them.
Yeah, and then I'm going to jump over to the Bronny James and LeBron thing. Early on in his career, I really love LeBron James, and as his career's gone on, he's become a little insufferable. I know he's a generational talent, and he's been great for the game and all, but some of the...
You go. Yeah, I think you get the gist of what he said, though, right? I think you get the point. Yeah, he's a generational talent, but how's LeBron going to be remembered long term? Like, where's his core fan? Is his core fan Cleveland fan? Is his core fan Miami fan? Right? Kobe had this fan loyalty in large part because he was Kobe and he was personable and he was generational and he was the best player of that decade. But he was also, JJ, he was a Laker, right? Larry Bird, David Robinson, Tim Duncan. Who is LeBron's? Is it any basketball fan of this generation?
Core fan is an interesting question with LeBron.
Right.
I think there's admiration from the Heat fan base, but he won't be above Dwayne Wade in Heat culture. I think Cleveland, however they feel, they're all in because he brought him a championship.
And he's from there.
From the Ohio kid who won a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
So that's got to be it, right? Cleveland fan, when it's all said and done, that'll be the guy.
His base. And I do think it's a generation thing where even basketball fans that are hit or miss, like when we are sitting there around the table 20 years from now with your buddies talking back and forth, like you're going to talk about LeBron in a different way. Like, oh man, this dude was something else and we changed the game, yada, yada, yada. And it's also one where the lifetime player X, it's going to be few and far between, so it's special when it happens. And I think when you look at LeBron's career, it will be viewed better later than it is right now. Because it'll
be viewed even better.
Yeah. The dude won championships in 3 different places.
Yeah.
Like, so LeBron hasn't gone anywhere and destroyed where he's been. People act like that. He's made everywhere he's been the best it can be. Now, the Lakers, I get it. It's a franchise.
That's a tough sell. That's a tough sell to Lakers.
Okay, what were they before LeBron?
No, you're right. But it's a tough
watching
sell.
an old Kobe Bryant score 60 points.
Like, that's what they remember. They remember. They. You heard James call it earlier. They think like Laker fan, Duke fan, Yankee fan.
I understand that,
right?
But I think down the line, he will be remembered a lot better. Like, oh man, did you really see what this guy did in his career?
Be interesting to see what they are when he leaves. Right? It'll be really interesting to see what they are when he leaves. Is it Bronny's team? Is it Anthony Davis' team?
And I think it was a situation because of who he was. He was never going to be a Laker. But who, I guess, is anyone will be a Laker? If you win multiple championships, okay, I think people are going to feel differently about you. But I think there's a sense that you have LeBron James and you only have one championship, it's going to feel like a failure.
Doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it?
No.
Does it feel like a failure in Miami that they only got 2? I don't know. Not 2.
I think it's
not 3.
Okay. But who's doing that?
He did. He made that promise.
Oh, wow. He had a press conference.
Yeah, no,
Fantastic.
but he made that.
But he went to like 9 straight NBA Finals. Not even Tom Brady's not doing that.
No,
Patrick Mahomes is not doing
what
that.
he's done is insane. No, you're right.
And we're like, you didn't win enough.
But did he? I don't know. Then you say, what was he surrounded by?
Oh, he's been good.
I agree with that. I agree with that, especially in Miami and LA.
I do think because I'm not going to be like, if you don't like LeBron, I get it. Like, I'm not trying to fight that battle anymore, but it's hard for me to feel like some Laker fans do because, like, I've seen people post that like they're looking for new teams. Like, they're not even rooting for the Lakers.
Ton of them.
It's like, okay.
Ton of them.
Because Bronny was drafted at 55 instead of... They didn't force him drafting at 17.
Look, man, I grew up a Laker fan. It's been hard. I just haven't had that pull in the last 5 years. I just haven't.
I think it's just everything. Because it's just this era of basketball. It's the way people act. It's what he's done. And this is fascinating because this is all on him. As much control as LeBron James has had in his career. This one is fascinating because it's a coach that's never coached anywhere. Like, when he brought Ty Lue in or someone else, like, people weren't feeling this way. But when it's a dude you're doing a podcast with, and the franchise hires him, and you get your kid drafted at 55, like, I don't have a way to spend.
So the next 3 years is going to play a big part on how people feel, right? Because he orchestrated this. He put this together. He brought in his coach, his kid, his guys. So does he have to win another one?
The answer to that question for a lot of people is, of course. I don't think he can.
I don't think he can either.
At this point. Like, I don't think the Lakers are going to, like, spin into a disaster. Like, all of a sudden, like, JJ Redick's going to be standing on the sideline and going, what's the timeout?
Yeah.
Like, what do we need? Like, I think that's kind of just where we're at in LeBron's career. Like, he has the power of the best player in the league, but he's not the best player in the league anymore.
Yeah. Interesting. Laker fan, what does he got to do? Or basketball fans, like, to cement his legacy. It's an interesting call that was just brought up. Who's he going to be? How's he going to be remembered? And are these last few years key in his legacy? Because it's that franchise. And he put it together. It's his kid, his coach, his people. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. And AM 610 Sports Animal. The number to get in is 505-246-06.
Like live music. Sure.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown, they pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque.
One for you. What is the penalty for grabbing your crotch during a game? I don't know, pick your American sport.
I guess if they see it, could it be a 15-yard penalty?
I mean, there's cameras everywhere, so they're going to see it. Are you familiar with Jude Bellingham? You know who that is?
The Real Madrid winger plays for England.
That's him. He breached the basic rules of decent conduct. Let me give you that again. Breaching the basic rules of decent conduct. He motioned to grab his crotch in front of the Slovakia bench during England Euros round of 16 win in Germany on Sunday. By the way, what a win by them. I mean, they came back. Harry Kane with the extra time goal. They scored late. I mean, people were losing their minds in Great Britain. So this was in stoppage time. It probably won't result in a ban from UEFA, but he's going to get fined. So he told people that it was a joke to friends, but UEFA has instructed its disciplinary body to investigate the gesture. And it's happened before. Ronaldo and Madrid manager Diego Simon, the Champions League, were met with big fines, but no bans. England plays Switzerland in the quarterfinal. In the statement Monday, UEFA said, quote, a UEFA ethics and disciplinary inspector. Why is inspector such a good word there? A UEFA ethics and disciplinary inspector would conduct a disciplinary investigation regarding a potential violation of the basic rules of decent conduct by the English Football Association player Jude Bellingham, having allegedly occurred in the scope of the match. Information on this matter will be made available in due course. End quote. UEFA is investigating lack of order or discipline by supporters also, and the lighting of fireworks. I mean, how come this is everything that is just like
onions,
so stereotypical of what you hear about European soccer? I'm sorry, football.
Marshawn Lynch out there
So-
giving some pregame advice.
They want to ban him for grabbing his junk.
Nah.
Where am I supposed to come down on this? I mean, am I supposed to go, oh, it's just the decency of it, and the kids are going to see it.
I know how you
and
feel
it's
about Marshawn
sportsmanship.
Lynch. I feel about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I just, it was unnecessary, and would they get fined? You fine them, right?
And there you go.
I mean, that's kind of where I am on it. By the way, you know, it's hard for me to sit through 90-plus minutes, but I do like soccer highlights. The bicycle kick that tied that thing up, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
It was fantastic. Yeah, I love the highlights. I just don't know that I want to sit through 90 minutes of all of these games to watch them. But if you do, that's cool, and that's your thing, and I love it. It's good for you. But yeah, that's a real deal. He may get banned, although he probably won't get banned for grabbing his junk. Did you see Winnie Colati over the weekend? The former Lobo?
Going to the Olympics.
She's going to the Olympics. That was a great call. What was it? In her race, she got past the edge. So she made the pass in the 10,000 meters, and the commentator, I think it was on NBC, it had to be on NBC, said, "Oh, Winnie Colati made her move too soon. She certainly made her move too soon because she passed, and then got past, and then as soon as she said that, boom, she kicked it again and took off. It was really, really, really. She's going to the Olympics. Former Lobo. It was. Are you into the Olympics now? Are you fired up? I mean,
Heck yeah.
Here we come. Is it this month or next month?
It starts at the end of this month, I believe.
Okay, I get the Tour de France first, and then I get France's Olympics. That was a great look, too. That's not your thing either? That's all right. A lot of people love that thing, man.
I know.
Like,
Wimbledon just started.
Wimbledon just started. This is international month. You get the Open Championship. Yeah, August is always, I'm sorry, July is always international. You get the Open Championship, Wimbledon, Tour de France. Now we get the Olympics. World Cup, if it happens here. You get all the international competitions. Yeah, this is where it is. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today. 888-922-0610. Speaking of the international stuff. All right, here's the deal tonight. If USA does not win against Uruguay, is it Uruguay or Uruguay? Yes. It can still advance out of the group stage in Copa America. But everything's got to play out in its favor in the match between Panama and Bolivia. Okay? So Uruguay beat Bolivia 5-0 on Wednesday. USA beat Bolivia 2-0 if you're looking for just a comparison. So USA will advance with a win or draw against Uruguay and a win by Bolivia over Panama. That's unlikely, correct? Bolivia is not going to beat Panama.
No.
USA can advance with a win against Uruguay and a win from Panama over Bolivia, but would also need to win the tiebreakers because 3 teams would then have 6 points. So that means they would need a goal differential. They're 2 up on goal differential against Panama right now. So I think if they both draw, that they would get it. USA can advance with a draw against Uruguay and a draw between Panama and Bolivia. And the USA can advance with a loss against Uruguay and a win from Bolivia over Panama, but would also need to win the tiebreaker.
What a mess. Be in this position.
Y'all done did it to yourself.
So much hype, trying to get excited. World Cup in 2 years. People talking about the foundation, the talent that's there, and yet you find yourself in position to maybe not even advance out of the group stage of the Copa America tournament on your home soil.
Can we start using home soil for like football?
Yeah, home turf.
Lobos
Hardwood.
get Boise State on their own soil. I kind of like it. That's actually
Well, I don't think. Can you use that if it's turf?
Why not?
It's turf.
Fair enough. On their own turf.
They at least have grass surfaces they're playing on.
Yeah, but there's soil underneath the turf, right? Right, fair enough.
Dirt.
They did it to themselves, though. How close to the Olympic roster is this roster? Like, will there be big changes? There may be change in head coach by next week if they lose tonight.
By tomorrow.
Okay, that's by next week. By tomorrow. But I mean, will the Olympic team look much different than this in 2 years from now? I gotta believe there'll be a few things. Will Caitlin Clark be on it?
Caitlin Clark's available.
I mean, the World Cup team, not the Olympic team. The World Cup team. If you put Caitlin Clark on it, people will show up, though, right?
That's all you need.
505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Which quarterback you want in clutch time? We're going to rank top quarterbacks in clutch time next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Like live music,
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
On game time or go-ahead drives in the fourth quarter and over. Okay, that's pretty simple. And then something called EPA, expected points added per play in those situations. So it looks at values added on all plays between rushing, passing, sacks, fumbles. So essentially, how often does a quarterback lead his team down the field successfully in do-or-die situations, and how does he perform on those drives? He says he broke down those numbers between a quarterback's career in the regular season, career in the playoffs, and last year's performance, all evenly weighted, and he put out this number. Now, he only looked at the 26 current starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Rookies and projected starters, like Anthony Richardson, they weren't considered. Justin Herbert's 10. Lower than you thought?
No.
Okay. Lamar Jackson's 9. Daniel Jones is on your list, boys and girls. He said, hear me out before you pound your fists on the table. Daniel Jones is 8th on this list. 5 game-winning drives through 7 games in 2022. Now, you can say it was a fluke, but he did it. And he wasn't throwing deep balls. Saquon Barkley did his share of the lifting. But Jones gets credit for taking care of the ball and adding value with his legs. 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter and overtime in the last 2 years, same number as Joe Burrow. Let me say that again. 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter and overtime in 2 years, same number as Joe Burrow.
How many games have those quarterbacks played over the last 2 years?
Well, Joe Burrow's next. I don't know, not many.
11.
I mean,
5 turnovers in how many games?
Not many. Yeah, that's a big number for not many. Yeah. So Joe Burrow is 7. Dak Prescott. He said, I don't trust Dak Prescott to put the Cowboys back in the playoffs or really shine versus top competition, but he puts MVP-type numbers, and that's why he's high on the list. 5 of 9 game-tying or go-ahead drive chances late in the game last year. 3 game-winning drives in primetime versus the Chargers, Seahawks, and the Lions. Jared Goff is number 5. Josh Allen is number 4. Jalen Hurts comes in at number 3. This one's stunning a little bit, but it's not. CJ Stroud is number 2. CJ Stroud is number 2. Texas converted on 6 of 8 game-tying or go-ahead chances with Stroud as quarterback. His numbers in those situations, 77% completion rate, 10.7 yards per attempt, and 139.5 passer rate. And number 1 is Mahomes. CJ Stroud's number 2. Is CJ Stroud going to be the second best quarterback in this league that we're talking about after this year?
Yeah, he has everything. He has the team. He has the talent. And that's an interesting list because that is pretty much just straight up stats.
It's numbers. It's numbers.
And I think if you just ran down the top 10 off your head, it'd be pretty close.
Maybe in a different order. Maybe
that's what I mean, but it would be pretty close to those guys. Daniel Jones wouldn't have been in the top 10 of anybody's list.
No. And who's left out? Tua Tagovailoa, right?
Tua doesn't have that.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think Brock is the guy I'd put on that list.
Yeah, guys that would have come to mind
to make the plays.
Yeah.
But when you look at Brock, his team's always ahead.
Fair enough.
And same thing from Tua. They're either in control or haven't really seen them come from behind in many games.
That's fair. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Dan.
Morning, Jeff. What's happening?
Lots. What's up?
Hey, just wanted to do a shout-out, and I haven't been listening all morning. You might have already done it, but wanted to do a shout-out to Chase Jackson from Los Alamos for winning that women's shot put.
She's going to the Olympics.
Going to Paris.
Yep, she's going to the Olympics.
Yeah, so, man, that's awesome. I've been waiting for somebody from the state to get in there, and she just did a magnificent job. So congratulations to her and her family and to City of Los Alamos, State of New Mexico.
Yep.
And boy, that JJ, he's a pretty good multitasker, huh?
Yeah, he's about as good as there is. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to do that shout out. You guys have a great week.
Deal. Also going to the Olympics is a local skateboarder. Mariah Duran is going to the Olympics. So you got plenty to cheer for here from the Burque and from New Mexico. Because Chase Jackson's from Los Alamos.
So to answer your question, when we were wrapping up some of the soccer talk, I wanted to double check. I like to try to say some factual things on the radio every once in a while.
Yeah.
So it was what I was thinking. So soccer on the men's side, it's under 23. So the teams you're watching now are, whether it's Euros, Copa, they're not going to be the ones that play in the Olympics.
So these tournaments right now are U23s?
No, the Olympics.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is
been that way for a while on the men's side.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea.
So you're not running out.
Is it only in soccer?
Winning the Copas.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Like your full national team is.
Why do they do that? Do you know?
I think some of it probably is fixture congestion.
Say that word again.
Fixture congestion.
What does that mean?
The amount of games you're playing.
Okay. Right. No, that's good.
Like if you're coming off your season, and then you go play in the Euros, and then you go right from, like the Euros might be like ending or still going on at the time the Olympics start. So you're not going to have your best team out there.
Okay. This just came down this morning, and when you think of the longest tenured college football coaches in America, who do you think of?
Well, I know where you're going with this story.
But do you think of that? I mean, is that what comes to your mind? Kyle Whittingham has been at Utah for a long time, since 2005. I'm trying to think of other who else? Where else do you go when you think of long tenured college football coach?
Nowadays it would be Dabo.
Okay, Saban's gone. I mean, it's hard, right? Rick Stockstill's been at Middle Tennessee for 20 years. I think he just got relieved. This is a long one. So Utah's named a successor. Now, there's no timetable for Kyle Whittingham. That's why this one jumped off the page. He's been there since 2005 and done an insanely good job. I mean, he was there when they were in the Mountain West. He has made the transition to the Pac-12. Now they're going to the Big 12. He has gotten them into national prominence. The Utah Utes announced today defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley will succeed Kyle Whittingham, whenever that is that he is done. Scalley's, once he gets elevated, he'll make $5 million a season. He's 44 years old. He's been on the staff since 2007 when he began his career as a graduate assistant. He's been the defensive coordinator since 2016. That will ensure the continuity of that program. They've hit 6 New Year's. Oh, no, that's not right. Multiple New Year's 6 bowl games. Who was the head coach before? Do you remember the Utah's head coach before Kyle Whittingham?
Urban Meyer.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. It's kind of crazy that he's been there that long. But he has. And I guess it's just jumped off the page because you look at him and he still looks relatively young. He still looks good. And I didn't even come in my mind. Maybe he's going to get done soon. Maybe, and this could be a 10-year deal. He'll be sitting around for 10 years. But I guess that's a way to keep a guy who is probably people are going to come after for a head coach, right?
Yes, these are always situations that I feel 50-50 about.
What do you mean?
Unless it's, I'm retiring next year. It's just coach and waiting. Oh, well, how long do I have to wait around? What's it going to be?
Seriously.
You don't see many San Diego State situations. Like Brian Dutch actually waited it out. Stuck around.
He did, yeah. And they named him coach in waiting a while back. And yeah. And it worked out pretty damn good for him and them. All right, when we come back, everything you got to know as you go through your Monday. Recap the big stories, and there's plenty of them this morning on the opening drive. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, You shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children.
Take the cut. Yes. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. What's everybody going to be talking about as you go through your day? A lot of money going around in the National Basketball Association. They're giving it out, boys and girls. Paul George is leaving the Clippers, going to the Sixers. 4 years, $212 million. James Harden staying with the Clippers, 2 years, $70 million. Meanwhile, the 76ers, in addition to Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, 5 years, $216 million. I'm sorry. That's different. I'm seeing a different number now. Now I'm seeing $204 million. Man, did I screw that one up. 5 years, $204 million. Sorry. Cade Cunningham, 5 years, $226 million. Stay with the 70s. Or I'm sorry, with the Pistons. And Isaiah Hartenstein leaving the Knicks and going to Oklahoma City. 3 years, $89 million. Opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. What else are people going to be talking about? They'll talk about New Mexico United's victory, 3-2 over San Antonio. Down a man, came back, and were victors on the road over the weekend. USA plays Uruguay today, Copa America. There's scenarios to advance into the elimination round, the knockout round. If they don't win, they can tie. If they lose, they're out, right? Well, if they lose,
they need a lot of help.
Still, yeah, because then there's Panama would have to lose, and then there'd be 3 teams with 1 win, right? Yeah, that'd be just win. And then, but they're playing the best team in their group, correct?
That is correct.
All right. So that's going to be tough for them today. That's where we are. And then, yeah, that's what I got for you. And then CeeDee Lamb, the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, according to the Dallas Morning News, is not going to camp until he gets a new deal. And JJ, I don't know when he's going to. I mean, at some point they got to address this, right? At some point, you're running out of time. You kind of need CeeDee Lamb. Your quarterback will go to camp. He's getting paid. He's basically said, the way I've read Dak Prescott's deal is, whatever, man. Pay me or don't. I'm making my money this year, and if you don't want to give me a new deal, I'll go out and ball, and I'm going to go get one next.
So we're not worried about Dak in this scenario.
Right.
I think ultimately Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb play football because they don't want to miss out on an entire contract year of that money. But if you were the Dallas Cowboys, who are you paying? Is it CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons?
Lamb and Parsons.
Peace out, Dak.
Where are you getting all this cap space? If you've got to make a decision, and it feels like you have to make a decision, right? What are you doing? I don't know how else you look at it. Or you can tell me I'm going to pay the 2 offensive guys, and I'll listen to you.
Or even Dak and Micah.
Okay.
You don't believe in the wide receiver bubble holding?
I mean, okay. There's part of it that says you got to pay a quarterback. I mean, you've made this case so many times, and you're not wrong. Where if you find a quarterback that you think is of that ilk, then you got to sign him. Now, there's plenty of you who think he's not.
But I do think it's not just because it's the next one; it has to be the biggest one. Well, and that's what we're seeing happen in Miami. Is they're negotiating, and if he says no, then you move on. And so that's part of the equation to me too. Is I think Tua is one of those quarterbacks where you have him, you can be good. They built a successful offense around him. But even the guy that led the NFL in passing yards, I can't give him $60 million because I don't feel he's that guy. But that doesn't mean I immediately want to just go and restart. Keep my fingers crossed I can find a dude that can just easily step in and go, well, of course you have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are going to lead the NFL in passing.
But that also means the quarterback has to be receptive.
Yeah, and if he's not, that's business.
So then you say, we tried, and I'm going to find a new one.
At that point, yes. I can't just give the next one the biggest just because.
All right. So what would if you're the Cowboys and you're coming to Dak and saying what? What's your offer? Here's 4 years at
$50 million.
So 4 years, $200 million, $120 million guaranteed. Is that your number? 4 years, 120 guaranteed. 4 years, $200 million.
That feels like about a value quarterback these days.
I mean, $50 million a year. It's insanity, right? But it is. It's market value, but you're not resetting them. And he shouldn't reset them. And I think he should know that. Don't you think he knows he shouldn't be resetting the market? He knows he hasn't won. He knows he's fortunate. He knows, he's played himself into this. He's earned what he's going to get. But he's got to know, I'm not worth what Mahomes is worth. Goff has won at a bigger level than me. Well, I'm better than Goff. Well, but you're not. Or is it the agent saying, man, you got to get every penny you can, and that guy got this, so you got to get more?
I think you can hold out longer as a quarterback in those negotiations, pushing for the next biggest deal. And Dak is giving me some Stafford vibes.
In regards to what? He's going to go
like
somewhere else.
I'm not going to. If a team in free agency paid Dak Prescott like a top 2 or 3 deal, I don't immediately feel bad. Like, oh, this is terrible.
Look, here's what I would do. If I was convinced he's my guy, I'd make sure he's not getting it. I'd make sure he's happy.
Because how would you feel? The Pittsburgh Steelers with Dak Prescott at quarterback.
Well, you'd feel better than you do with the situation they have right now, wouldn't you? Now, would you feel great about it? Like, if you're a Steeler fan, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd feel good, I think. You'd feel like you've got a good quarterback. Look, Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. I don't think anybody's arguing he's not a good quarterback. Is he a market resetting quarterback is another conversation. And so I don't think anybody's going to complain if he gets that deal that you just put out there. At $50 million a year, and look, if you're the Cowboys, I guess your answer is, though, what makes it different? How do you convince yourself, well, we've had pretty good teams, or at least you think. And we haven't won. Why are we going to win if we continue to do the same thing? That's where they're at. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On's here at 4 o'clock. And then we're back with award-winning radio. Tomorrow morning we'll start at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work on the visual side. Damn it. Big day for you?
Huge day.
And enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.